Let's start this off right, y'all. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. I'm joining my co-host, my brother from another mother. Blood couldn't make us any closer. One of the best photographers in the world. My brother Santana, say something to the people.
What's good? What's good? What's good? Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all could have been anywhere else, but y'all here with us tonight. And for that, we have a jam-packed show for y'all. We're gonna get right into it. You heard?
Man, we want to thank y'all for tuning in each and every Thursday and Sunday. It means the world to us, as you can see. Shout out to some of our day ones already in the building, some badge holders already in the building. Shout out to Winter, Lisa, King Prince. Shout out to Shay, Butter in the building. That's a fire name. Appreciate you tapping in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Means the world to us. Remember, y'all, we on the road to 20,000 subscribers for this channel. So continue to tell a friend, like, subscribe, and share, and help us continue to grow with this journey. We only been on for just a little over a year, but we keep grinding and we keep building. And it's through y'all that we're going to continue to resonate and share this energy with. Again, we're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're on 11,000 subscribers right now, but we could get to 20. Let's keep shooting for that 20. Also, this show is presented by Button Snap, so you get the finest of content, movies, shows, and documentary. All right, y'all. First segment of the night. This segment is called for those who are first time watching. This segment is called Popular Opinions. These questions are not our questions; these are the world questions. Again, stick to the answers in the questions. This segment is brought to you by OUV Records. Go to OUV Records at OUV Records on Instagram and stay tuned to the latest music and merchandise. The label motto is create, document, and inspire. All right, y'all. First popular opinion question of the night. And again, y'all, these are not our questions. These are the world questions. So stick to the answers in the questions, y'all. All right. Favorite basketball era. Favorite basketball era. Number one, Gen Z. Number two, millennials. Number three, Gen X. Number four, baby boomers. So let me just define the eras to make it easier for y'all. Number one, Gen Z is the new era. Jason Tatum, SGH, Wimby, Luca, Anthony Edwards. Millennials, Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Giannis, Joker, Kyrie Irving. Gen X, Kobe, Shaq, AI, Duncan, Tracy McGrady, Kevin Garnett. And number four, baby boomers, MJ, Barkley, Bird, and Akeem Olajuwon. But they got Dream here, but Akeem Olajuwon. Which one are you going with, bro?
I'm definitely going with the millennial generation because they still balling. They haven't
Mm-hmm.
passed the mantle off yet, but there's a bunch of people on the Gen X generation that can take on the mantle, but let the millennials retire first. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right
That's a
now,
fact.
they holding the mantle right now.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Like all eras is still in their bag. I'm not all eras, but you get what I'm saying. All eras have an importance to the greatness of basketball, right? Um, Me personally, I'm not a big fan of today's era. I'm just going to be honest with you. They're skilled. This is probably the most skilled overall. Like everybody has some sort of offensive skill in this era, but that doesn't make them great players. That just make them skilled. But everybody plays the same way. That's the only problem. There's no styles. There's no, they play fast, they play big, they play small, they play, up and down pause, they play, you know, um, using four corners. There's no style in today's era. It's just straight get up and down, jack up threes. I love the millennials. I love the Gen X, and I love the baby boomers. But me personally, I'm gonna have to go with the Gen X. Gen X is the Kobe, Shaq, AI, Duncan, Kevin Garnett. That's the NBA I really grew up to for real. The MJ era is not necessarily my era, but I was a little kid watching that era, and that was one of the most competitive, grind out, real superstars, real styles, styles, what they say, fights, styles make fights. Those are that was the era that styles made fights. But me, I'm gonna have to go with the Gen X with Kobe, Shaq, AI, Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Tracy McGrady. That was just a different time to me. You know what I'm saying? That's when you could wear the shorts could be a little lower. It wasn't no poom poom shorts out there. They had the ultimate swag, the game, and they had styles. So me personally, I'm going with Gen X. My brother went with millennials in the chat. I'm seeing four. I'm seeing baby boomers. That's MJ, Magic, Barkley, Bird, Dream. The rest of the world at 51% went with baby boomers. What do you think about that?
You can't be mad at any error in this list.
Hmm. Except for the new era. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Except for the new era, they all just play the same. I just can't get over the new era. Very skilled. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. Our next uh popular opinion question: favorite styles of hip hop. Favorite styles of hip hop. Number one, Atlanta trap. Number two, Chicago drill. Number three, New York boom bap. Number four, West Coast gangster. Again, let us know what y'all think in the chat. What you going with, bro?
Mm,
This is a good one though.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go with Atlanta Trap because that was our college years and that was party years, and unfortunately, that's when all them songs was coming out, and it just worked because it was much of them were like club songs, and we was already in the club, so I'm
Hmm.
gonna have to go with that one.
I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. Them colleges. I mean, that Atlanta trap. It was so crazy. We from New York, and we was bumping Atlanta trap in New York in the clubs. Whether we was at school, in school, or out of school when we came home, the Atlanta trap went universal. It went global. Um, I like that West Coast sound. Chicago drill is cool, but not necessarily my cup of tea. I'm not gonna keep it 1,000 with you. But I'm a New York boom bap guy. That's my favorite. That's my favorite style of hip hop for me. New York boom bap. I just love that boom bap. You can still boogie to the boom bap, and you can appreciate the music more to the boom bap, in my opinion. In the chat, I'm seeing West Coast. I'm seeing a little Chicago drill. Again, my bro went with Atlanta trap. I went with boom bap. The rest of the world at 33%. It was a tight race. I'm not even gonna hold you. It was real tight. Pause. 33% went with Atlanta trap. What do you think about that?
I said they came around in the right time because a lot of us going to college, so it made a lot of sense that it seemed like those musics was popping. It was just only because a lot of that songs was playing in the club repeatedly, so it
Hmm.
was just a wave. That's all it was. I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. It was a good time. I'm not gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? We was in there, want to party all the time like Eddie Murphy. You know what I mean? Want to party all the time. You know what I'm saying? Lean with it, rock with it. You know,
You just
I
have to
don't
be
know.
there. It was part of the wave. You know what I'm
Yeah, you
saying?
know what I'm saying? Like it was going up. So, Atlanta trap took it to a whole nother place. So shout out to that. All right, moving on to our next segment. Hollywood Need to Ask Us. We came up with this segment because Hollywood has given us a lot of movies that is typical, no creativity, and just movies we didn't even ask for. So we came up with this segment because we got better ideas for either a movie or a TV series. You want to start this one off?
Hollywood needs to make a series about William Cooper. I want to say the first whistleblower you could probably give the title to. He wrote a book called The Beholder Play a Horse, and the
Mm-hmm.
book was published back in 1991. And he was a U.S. Naval Intelligence officer, and you got to read the book. So
Mm-hmm.
For
Mm-hmm.
those who read the book, I want to see a series about William Cooper and all the information that he had back then that now they starting to drop and give and reveal today, but he already had put it out back in 91. So it's just
Yeah.
funny how this information is like, oh my God, like they're giving us information when it was in books back then. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely want a series about William Cooper. His book is pretty extensive book. So they got a plethora of material they could go after to make a series about this man.
Fire, fire, fire. That'll be fire. Me personally, I'm gonna switch mine. I had another one, but I'm gonna switch mine only because of what happened some days back. I want to see a series based on Junior Bridgman. For those who don't know, rest in peace to Junior Bridgman. He just passed away after suffering something in the emergency. It was an emergency, something, they wouldn't really just disclose full detail as of yet because he just passed away. But this man became a billionaire after playing in the NBA. Most people only recognize obviously somebody like the Magic Johnson, your Michael Jordan, obviously. LeBron James is on his way to be a billionaire if he's not already. But Junior Bridgman was a career a career NBA player that was a really good player. He averaged about 14 points, 4 rebounds, and like 3 assists. And you never heard him before. Most people have never heard of Junior Bridgman in the sense of basketball, but he was a very solid player. And majority of the time, he was coming off the bench, and that's not no slouch coming off the bench. But the amazing part of his life is what not just as an NBA player and his journey to the NBA is what he was able to do after the NBA. Mind you, because Junior Bridgman wasn't a prime time player, he didn't get paid top dollar playing in the NBA. He made the meager salary of 50 to 60, 80 grand back in the time that he played, which uh, is seemed to be meager now, but at that time that was like, oh, you making 80K, yeah, baby, but it's not going to 80K normally does it turn into $1 billion. So he was able to own a whole. He owned a whole fast food empire. He owned several Wendy's, Chili's, and countless of other restaurants. He had other businesses, and he was just that dude, man. But again, because he doesn't have, he wasn't selling sneakers or had the cachet of Magic Johnson with him having AIDS and using that. Uh, Fame and turn it into other ways of business. Just having that namesake, Junior Bridgman still died as a billionaire. So you turn 60 to 80K into 1 billion. I've never heard of that. I've never heard somebody do that without somebody big homie in his situation. Boots, grind, grit in the mud, and he was able to do that. So again, RIP to Junior Bridgman. I would love to see a series based on his life, his upbringing, NBA life, and after NBA life, and the father that he was. So I would love to see that Junior Bridgman.
That's fire. That's dope.
Yeah, man. I think that would be super, super fire. And I will want somebody, I'm not gonna lie, I will want somebody like Damon Dash to direct it. I'm a really big fan of Damon Dash directing styles when it comes to movies. And he has a way of being versatile. He could do a comedy, he could do, gangster, and he has the ability to do a biopic, in my opinion. But a bio series will be fire. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. One of our most popular segments on the show is our must see segment, must see movie, must hear music, must see watch documentary or stand up. You want to start this one off?
Now you can start it off.
All right, so my must see movies, y'all. My number one must see movie came out in 2025. It just came out, directed by William Stead. It stars Kelly, Ryan Sanson, Daniel Scott, Daniel Ronald, Amanda Jane York. and Connor Powers. Uh, this movie is called Popeye's Revenge. Uh, yo, I don't know. We talked about it before in this in episodes past that Popeye was coming out as a remake, and this is a horror movie on Popeye the Sailor Man, and the movie's basically about his upbringing and people murdering his parents, which caused Popeye to watch the rest of that movie. I won't ruin it for y'all. So again, make sure y'all tap into Popeye's Revenge. Second must-see movie came out in 1989, directed by John Deal. This stars Val Kilmer, Joanne Wheely, Michael Madsen, John Kreis, and Michael Storrit. This movie is called Kill Me Again. Fire movie about a couple, pulling jack moves. They robbing things, and they supposed to get out of Dodge. The girlfriend, she wants to go somewhere, and the boyfriend wants to go watch the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all. So again, tap in to see Kill Me Again. My third and final must-see movie was directed by James Bridges. This stars John Travolta, Debbie Wigner, Scott Glenn, Barry Carbon, uh, who's that? Mikey Gilly, Brooke Anderson, and Madeline Smith Osborne. This movie is called Urban Cowboy. This is about a young kid from the farms, and he want to move to the big city of Dallas. He gets to Dallas and he getting this shaky already. You know what I'm saying? He over here with it, he over here with it, and he went to watch the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all. So make sure y'all tap in to see Urban Cowboy. So my three must-see movies, y'all, again, is Urban Cowboy, Kill Me Again, and Popeye's Revenge. So make sure y'all tap in.
Fire, fire, fire. Chat, y'all know how I do. I always have a theme for my movies. This episode's no different. So my theme this week is box office bombs. These movies did terribly, but they all have a twist in them, meaning that as bad as these movies were, they did drop a little bit of signs. So if you can sit through how bad these movies are, then maybe you might see what I've seen, right? So the first movie on this list that bombed terribly is Gods of Egypt. Came out in 2016, had a budget of 40 million, 140 million. So you already know.
Mm.
Uh, Actors in the movie are Gerard Butler, Nicola Coster, Brenton Weiss, Courtney Eaton, Elodie Young, Chadwick Boseman, Jeffrey Rush, Emily Wheaton, Emma Booth, Rufus Sewell, Brian Brown, and Aloye Saror O'Neill. Basically about the creation story in Egypt and the Greek and the Egyptian gods. And you got to watch the rest of the movie, see how much it bombed. But there is a part in the movie if y'all could see it, y'all could tap in and tell me if y'all peeped it too. So next movie on the list that bombed terribly is John Carter. Came out 2012. Box office budget was 250 million. Stars Taylor Kitsch, Lynn Collins, William Dafoe, Thomas Hayden Church, Dominic West, Bryan Cranston, Mark Strong, Samantha Morton, Polly Walker, Daryl Sabrea, James Porte, and Syrian Hins. John Carter is about this Civil War veteran who gets into this situation, and you got to watch the rest of the movie to find out about how bad it bombed. And if you sit through it, you might see what I seen in this movie as well.
Mm-hmm.
The last on this list is Jupiter Ascending. Came out in 2015, had a budget of 176 to 210 million dollars. It stars Channing Tatum, Mila Kunis, Eddie Redmayne, Douglas Booth, Sean Bean, Terrence Middleton, James Geroy, Bay Doney, Kit Drury, Christian Cole, Tim Porjoy Smith, and Ramon Tickerim. It's about this cleaning lady who finds out she's more than just a cleaning lady based on her family lineage, and you gotta watch the rest of the movie to find out what happened. A definite bomb, but again, this imagery in this movie, I can see why they threw so much money in these movies to make them bomb. But you gotta tap in and tell me what you think. So my movies were Gaza, Egypt, John Carter, and Jupiter Ascending.
Make sure y'all tap in. Those are some good movies. It's Thursday, so write these movies down and pop the popcorn. You know what I'm saying? Inside is always a safe time, good time, in the comforts of your own home. All right, moving on to our must hear music. Tonight, I'm giving y'all straight R&B for my R&B lovers. For some of y'all first time viewers, must hear music. R&B, classic R&B. I'm gonna go with the group that most of y'all probably never heard of. Subway. Bro, do you remember the group Subway?
I can't remember. I said,
They,
oh,
they got they got some fire joints. And shout out to my bro Biggs in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. But I'm gonna give y'all three songs that y'all must put on y'all playlist by the group Subway. Fire music. Number one, Fire. Number two, This Little Game We Play featuring 702. Number three, Sticky Situations. Again, add those to your playlist. Again, Fire, number one. Number two, This Little Game We Play featuring 702. And number three, Sticky Situations. So make sure y'all tap into that music. Put that on your playlist if you big R&B fans. This is classic fire R&B, different vibrations. So tap into the group Subway. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment, our classic show, must see, documentary, or stand up. You want to start this one off?
definitely we could tap into the show. Ray Donovan came out in 2013, has 7 seasons. It's about a Hollywood fixer who, you know what I'm saying, fixes basically Hollywood producers' problems, whether it's an actor on set who's not acting right, or there's a reporter who has the news on this up and coming artist, and they need to get that recording out of there before it hits the new press. Definitely tap into Ray Donovan. The actors in the show were Liv Schreiber, Paula Malcolmson, John Voight, Catherine Mooney, Curious Dorsey, Eddie Marsden, Dash Meekoke, Alyssa Diaz, Stephen Boyer, Leela Simmons, Katie Holmes, and Amber Chose. Like I said, about a Hollywood fixer. Each episode makes you really think about maybe these ain't real stories. They might have came from somewhere in reality. So definitely tap into Ray Donovan. You can catch it on Showtime.
Make sure y'all tap in, man. Y'all don't forget to hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that 100s, hit them 100s. Our show builds off love and engagement. So again, hit that like button, hit that like button. All right, y'all. I'm giving y'all my must see show or classic show. Y'all gotta see the TV show Homicide. Homicide, Life on the Streets. It was 7 fire seasons. Came out in 1993. Stars Andre Bronner, the legendary Andre Bronner, Kyle Sector, Isabella Hoffman, Richard Blazer, Reed Diamond, and Clark Johnson. Fire show about a whole bunch of top cops. You know what I'm saying? All in the neighborhood, and they fighting against crime. So make sure y'all tap in to see Homicide, Life on the Street. You got cologne for us?
Definitely got cologne for y'all. Y'all look good. Y'all feel good. Y'all smell good. Y'all gonna do good. So this fragrance this week is Jean Paul Gaultier. Definitely got to tap into this fragrance. Classic one. It's been around for a minute. So again, Jean Paul Gaultier, tap into it.
Make sure y'all get that. The whole goal is to smell good, to feel good, to get the girl. So get the cologne to get the girl. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. And again, y'all, don't forget to hit them likes, hit them likes, hit them likes, hit them 100s in the chat. All right, y'all already know it's time to rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get the finest of classic movies, shows, documentary, as well as original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, buttonsnaps.com. That's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. Again, button hyphenated sign snaps.com. So make sure y'all tap in. Uh, First hot topic of the night. Deion Sanders wants a real spring game. He doesn't want to have Colorado versus Colorado anymore. He wants to have a game, a spring game against other teams. Uh, the Syracuse coach said he's down to do it, and several other coaches said they down to do it. The only problem is they want to make sure that everybody gets the reps that most of the guys would get during the spring game. What do you think about that?
I mean, they could organize it. They can make it happen. Like, I don't see why they can't make it happen.
Hmm.
If your concern is making sure everybody get the reps, then y'all make sure everybody get the reps. But I don't see why they can't make a call to a different college and hey, yo, we want to play y'all in the spring game. You know what I'm saying? Like, just from good sportsmanship.
Hmm.
Let's make it happen. I can't see no problem with this.
Yeah, I love this idea myself. I think it's going to give a bit of a lot of juice. Spring ball is to find out what you have. It's not necessarily, oh, this is going to be the team. No, you figure out who can play and who can't play. For those you know who can play, is for those guys to sharpen their skill and to be better than the guys who you're trying to figure out can play. And then if you find about 2 to 3 guys that really can play, that could really take your team to the next level. So I really think this will help immensely. If their spring game was against another team, I'm pretty sure that those kids would get enough reps and they could make it a whole week out of it. So you have your spring month, and then the last week of spring ball, y'all can practice all week. So that way, y'all get the suitable reps against a different opponent and then have the big game, for the spring. What do you think about that?
No, like I said, it's still great competition. I don't see no problem with organizing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get it going.
Yeah. Staying on Colorado, pause. They just hired, but his coaching position is not defined. They just hired uh, former college quarterback, Jets quarterback, Marshall quarterback, uh, championship, Super Bowl offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich to the Colorado Buffalo staff. What do you think about that?
That's, you know what I'm saying? That's a plethora of knowledge and skill set right there that a bunch of young men can learn from. Like, he was in the league, so he made it to the league and played in the league, so he got something to say. So I'm pretty
Hmm.
sure these young cats will listen and take heed to his expertise.
Hmm. I think the type of knowledge that he has will help take that team to a whole nother level, especially with detailing and detailing from play to play. Like Byron Leftwich was up for a head coaching job this past year, in this past cycle. He didn't get one, but that doesn't mean he won't get one moving forward. Um, so I think this is a great move, whether he's going to be in the quarterback room or or as an offensive coordinator type of style, helping out, or whatever the case may be. He's on the coaching staff. So now you have Byron Leftwich on your coaching staff for all that experience that he's gained in the NFL, being an offensive coordinator. And then on top of that, you have Marshall Falk. You got Petit Pateo on the other side, a defensive lineman. I mean, it's just a plethora of guys that they bring in, and now they're saying reports are being made, and obviously Warren Sapp. How can I forget about Warren Sapp, the legendary Warren Sapp? But reports are being said that not a defined position as of yet, but Ray Lewis can also be in play of being the next Colorado coach. What do you think about that?
Like I said, it's a coaching tree that they're trying to establish over there, and that's I'm all for it.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah, that would be fire. I'm not. I'm just not gonna hold you to see all that going. I mean, what they have going on right now is crazy. it's crazy, and the type of experience and the tricks of the trade that these guys can learn while they're at Colorado is going to be is going to be bounds and leaps for that team. So and for that program. So shout out to Colorado. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. Monique blasts Tyler Perry uh, for the Angie Stone's uh, for Angie Stone's funeral speech. What do you think about that?
I didn't hear what he said at the speech.
I don't have what he said at the speech
I
myself.
mean, at the funeral, my fault.
At the funeral, right? Well, the speech at the funeral. I don't have that speech, but he relayed a lot of just he wished that she was protected, and for her to basically pass the way she did in her financial state, he felt like it was unsettling. He actually ended up paying for the whole funeral, and he was asked to speak, and a part of that was what he said. But this is what Monique had to say. You express anger over Angie's mistreatment, yet you label me difficult to work with. Despite never having worked with me, how can you condone poor treatment of others when you impose the same on me? We have audio of you admitting that you were wrong. What do you think about that of her words?
I mean, is it not about Angie Stone right now? So let it be about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If you still bad about that, and that was how many years ago,
Mm-hmm.
you still didn't resolve that situation up until now. Don't use this platform to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's not
Mm-hmm.
about. It's not about that. It's about somebody else. So
Mm-hmm.
let it be about the person that you actually there for.
I completely agree because I don't even believe that Monique was even at the funeral. And this is something that was tweeted and revealed. So it's like the fact that you say shout out to Angie Stone, rest in peace, we're gonna miss you, and then you go on your rants to say this, that, and the third. Your feelings is not necessarily wrong, but your timing is trash. This is something that's about someone else completely that needs their moment to rest. Whatever your grievance is, if you feel like you need to speak on it more because you went on several platforms, anytime they put a mic in this woman's face, whether it was, anywhere, she's always mentioned Tyler Perry in their situation. And at this point, is it leaning on a decade that this thing happened where he admitted that, he did a wrong and this, that, and the third? It's been almost a decade. So if he comes out and say, yeah, you're not difficult to work with, so what's supposed to be the next step? So other companies are going to hear that you're not difficult to work with, and they're like, okay, now we want to work with Monique again, because one person should not be able to make and break your career, especially from our community. Now I can understand if it's from the other powers that be that got the power to push buttons. And not saying that Tyler Perry don't have the power to push buttons, but again, and then no diss to Tyler Perry, but his movies have been very missed. Meaning they haven't been good in a while. So he has the power to make his movies and to make great movies, but at the same time, he doesn't control the pulse of the whole industry. So what happened to your other relationships that you developed in the industry that could continue your career going on? And then, whenever you get back with Tyler Perry, you get back with Tyler Perry. I mean, don't you have a relationship with other people in the industry that does movies, that make movies? Didn't she make millions of dollars? Can't you fund your own movie and continue to fund your own movies to move your career along and to kind of and really kind of put you in a more powerful position? I mean, do that make sense, bro, or no?
No, it's a fact. It's always cool to argue and point the finger, but it's like when it's time to actually put in the work, and I'm pretty sure you know the ins and outs of doing a movie, the business aspect of it, and you know what I'm saying, like get some funding. Your name has some cachet, so I'm pretty sure a bank will loan you some bread if you have the business plan together. If you coming together like, hey, I want to do this, that. I'm a celebrated actress. I have awards under my belt, so all of that means something. So when it
Mm-hmm.
comes down to cut the check, they're gonna be like, well, why would we want to cut you the check? Well, I have this under my belt. I have this project, and I have that, and now you can do your own thing. So I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it's just always weird when these people like complain about stuff. And it's like, yo, y'all in positions where it's like some of us will never even be in, and y'all still complaining.
A shout out to Rowan Jack in the building. One of our day ones, badge holder. Shout out to you, Rowan Jack. Appreciate you tapping in as always, supporting the show. Yeah, so I agree with you, you know, handily, bro, because again, when you have all those accolades and all these things working for you, somebody's going to want to work with you that you would think. But again, where's the rest of the relationships in the industry? So let's not take Angie Stone's moment and make it about you, because that's exactly what she did. And when you see that type of behavior, other people is not going to be rushing to work with you when you see that type of behavior, because you're making it about yourself. So uh yeah. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. Eugene Huntley, AK Eugene Huntley Jr., aka Big U, has been charged in a RICO case of murder, also human trafficking and extortion, along with part-time rappers Lace Cannon and Brick Baby, also charged in a RICO case. The feds claim that Big U drove to North Vegas with charged defendant Sylvester Robinson, fatally shot aspiring rapper in the head, and dragged the body to the interstate into the desert. What do you think about that?
I mean, all of this is alleged, so still have his day in court, but it's it just doesn't look good. If it's the feds coming after you, that means they already have their case in the bag because it's 90% conviction rate. So it's not state coming after you, it's the feds. So they possibly have a case on you, and that murder happened 4 years ago. So that means they've been watching you for that long and just seeing how you move, and then you know what I'm saying, they start bringing cases on everybody. So that's probably what the situation is. Again, it's still alleged, but it doesn't look good. Um, all can time will tell what's gonna happen forward. But with his name, it just was always weird because I never heard about him up until when Nipsey Hussle passed. That's when I started hearing about his name,
Mm.
and then the weird stories and, you know what I mean, innuendos and stuff you hear about somebody's name you shouldn't even hear about somebody's name, but that's what would be said when you hear about Big U. So it's never anything positive from other people. Like, even though, like, yeah, ran a youth organization, but then used the youth organization to extort other people and extort other millionaires, and then that whole check-in situation, and then they find out you get the money from extorting them, then you take the money out the account and then put it into your personal account. So it's like they got you for wire fraud. So it's just a whole big thing. So
Mm.
just doesn't look good at all.
And they're also framing him as the leader, so he's going to more likely look at some sort of kingpin statute as well, which is, going to carry some sort of life sentence if they get a conviction, which they probably do. More likely, he'll probably plead out in that, because if he try to fight it, he's going to get more years than you could ever think about. So in this particular case, I mean, this is all alleged, supposedly, but they have been watching this man. Like you said, they have him on footage doing certain things, and some of the other footage where this aspiring rapper was actually in the studio and things of that nature. So they've been they've been keeping track of these things, and moving forward, I would not be surprised to hear that that this situation went that far. They said they had a warrant for his arrest. He made several videos, leading up to his surrender, along with some of the other co-defendants. And when you do any evil deed you do in the dark, it will come to the light. And sounds like they got him. Sounds like they got him. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Nike decided to end partnership with streamer Kai Cenat after bathroom incident with another streamer, Rakai. What do you think about that?
As soon as you get as easy as you get the bag is as easy as you're gonna lose the bag. You know what I'm saying? Meaning whatever you did to get the bag, as far as streaming, doing these comedic jokes and pranks and this, that, and the third. Yeah, it's funny and it's all cool and it gets you in the limelight, gets you in the door, it gets you with the sit down. But now when they cut you the check and it's now time to continue creating content, can't keep doing the same way you was doing before because now you're dealing with big bread and they not tolerating some of the goofiness at all. And I'm pretty sure there was a sit down. I'm pretty sure there was a talk. Like, yeah, we like some of your stuff that you did before, but moving forward, we would like for you to do this. We would like for you to do that. You ain't do it. Now you lost a whole contract with Nike. And that's a huge it's Nike.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like that could have been easily avoided. You know what I'm saying? It could easily not been done at all. It's just unfortunate. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I honestly, when I actually looked at the video of what actually happened, of the prank of the video, and McDonald's just wanted to end that. They just wanted to end it. Um, there's other things like, regardless of what he was going to do, he finds different ways for people to tune in. People been tuning in to Kai Cenat, and he I don't want to say he pushes the envelope, but he does things that other people, I don't want to say wish they could do, but they having a good time. Whether they just playing ball, whether they're playing they doing tag, or like they just do fun stuff. They rap, they do battle freestyles, they do all types of stuff for the content. And this one particular piece of content now is so bad. And looking at the video, he knocked on the door, the young boy opened the door, and he was taking the shit. When they took his phone, he was looking at porn. So yeah, that's cut. That's yeah. Run that contract. Run that contract. Are you kidding me? They just wanted to end that because if they're cutting it for that, again, there's no telling what he's going to do in the future as far as content. So it was good to get him the contract or the content and all the eyes that he could bring you. But now all of a sudden, his attention ain't good attention now. They just wanted to cut that, in my opinion. I mean, like, I just keep it real. And they probably feel like their sales didn't have the full jump bringing on Kai Cenat. And it was like, all right, so yo, we could just let him go. Like, we could just come up with some reason on why we don't want him, and that would be that. So it's like you're living on eggshells. You're living on eggshells because in order to continue to build your content, you have to continue to do things that you didn't do before because people going to keep tapping in if your content is built off of that. So he's doing things that other people haven't done before. That's why he gets major views. That's why he gets so much subscriptions. So now whatever he's doing, now it's not good enough for y'all. Just don't make any sense. But at the end of the day, I do like your point where it's like once you get that bread from from these companies, they expect you to be a certain way. So
That's it. Once they cut that check and you accept that check, they don't want to hear nothing. Point blank, period. If it was your own thing and it was your own stream, you getting your own money, then you do whatever you want because it's your own way. But once you cut that check, you sat down in the office, they gave you that bread, you put it in your account, and you didn't do what they told you to do, That's it. There's
Mhm.
nothing else to talk about. If
Mhm.
it's your live, your stream, your wave, nobody ain't gonna say none because that's how you got there to the point. That's how you got there in the first place. Nobody ain't never checked you before because it was your live, your stream. You built your own content. You built your own following yourself. Cool. You didn't need Nike, but you felt you did. Now you sat down with them. They gave you that bread. You ain't do what you were supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, what else is there to talk about? You ain't do what they told you to do. They take the bread back. That's how they play. Point blank, period. You want to play their game? Play their game.
Mhm.
That's it.
And the crazy thing is, it wasn't nothing he did.
They felt he did something. That's how they felt. That's
You
it.
know?
They felt you did something wrong. You took their bread. They don't care if it's some minor. They don't give. They don't care. They
Mhm.
could pull. It could be. It could be petty. It could be this, down, and third. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
You still took their bread, and
Mhm.
you ain't do what they told you to do. And I'm pretty sure they labeled everything on there. I'm pretty sure they did. When you dealing with that type of money, they gonna tell you exactly what you can and cannot do. And
Mhm.
once you do that, and once you do something that they told you didn't do, you're gonna get the consequences, repercussions. Perfect example: the guy who won in Ohio State. He told the announcer, "I want to thank Jesus Christ for winning the Rose Bowl. Because you said that, you cannot be on the stage when getting the trophy. As minuscule and as small as that is concerned, doesn't matter. It was part of the rules. You broke the rules. That's how it is. It's foolish as far as like you can't use God, and then it's foolish as him knocking on the door while somebody's using the bathroom. Yes, though all things are foolish, but at the end of the day, y'all still took the bread. You was on the stage on their platform, and you sat down their platform. You took their money, and you did something that you wasn't supposed to do using their money. That's how they play at the end of the day.
Mhm. So I mean, at the end of the day, I just felt like they wanted to end it, to come up with these wild different rules, but they still fund other entities, other companies, other players,
They
other
in the legal right to do it.
you know,
That's the game. They in the
right,
legal right to do that.
right. So if they want to cut that contract, then cut that contract. I mean, Nike has fumbled more influential people, not to diss Casanat because that's not a diss, but they fumbled the bag with Kanye West at one point. So I'm not really like caring if Nike say, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna drop Kai Cenat," like that's gonna change the way that people feel about Kai Cenat. It's just like Nike don't have that type of power. They could stop cutting checks, but that's as far as it go. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. Canada has been charging the U.S. tariffs for years. Uh, just to uh, just to be clear, um, so they've been charging the United States tariffs for years, 270% on milk, 245% on cheese, 298 on butter, 238 on chicken, and 69.9% on sausage. Pause. And that's just a few, just to throw them out there, not to make it redundant. Cars 25% and TVs 45%, still 25%. What do you think about that?
I mean, I'm pretty sure they've been doing that, but their country is still in the situation that they're doing. So you doing that didn't help your country at all. So you mentioning it just showcases how inept you have been doing managing your country if you've been overpricing American dollar for how many years
Mm,
without us even knowing it. And I'm pretty sure the constituency and the people in power already knew that, but they just let it go. But that's neither here nor there. But you trying to tell me you've been doing that for this many years and your country is still ass? Doesn't say much about us. It really says a lot about y'all. But we also got to check ourselves too for paying an exorbitant amount of prices on things that we didn't even know was that expensive. So we also got to check ourselves on that part too.
mhm. I think because we grew up in it, we don't know no better. In a sense, you know what I'm saying. When you was born into a system, and ever since you was going to the store, if the price was this, and we're like, damn, like okay, that's what we think it is. But seeing how we seeing it now, it's so crazy that most conversations blame Donald Trump for everything. I've said it many times before on my channel that I'm not the biggest Donald Trump fan, but I'm a big fan of my self interest and the people around me self interest. It's so crazy. They like, yeah, if we didn't have him in office, then this wouldn't be going on. So the lather of that would have been Kamala Harris. We still would have been getting finessed by other countries when it came to tariffs and just giving money away for shrink wrap and all these other BS charges that they charging us. The Department of Education would still be trash, still wouldn't be held accountable. The dollars wouldn't be changed. The tax law would still be the same. It was only going to adjust things that was already in place for only people with children under a certain age. So so instead of having Donald Trump in office to do all the things that he's been doing, signing all these orders to bring money back to our country, yeah, I say now we should have had Kamala to continue the finesse and the chicken sandwich. And reading off these tariffs again, this hasn't been going on for the last 5 years. This has been going on forever, for a long time. For a long time. HVAC's 45%, cable boxes 35%, aluminum 45%, copper 48%. Like, what are we talking about? When are we going to show that we big bad America and whip it out on them? Pause. And it's either you get down or you lay down. Straight like that. And I ain't gonna hold you. I love that energy where he's making things happen like that. Simple and plain. So it kills me when I hear people speak of that. Oh, but the DEI, the DEI. If people really do their research, it only really affected white women. White women benefited from the DEI program, not us. So people is fighting for things that is not even for us. We get a part of all these other uh, uh, things, whether it's the feminist movement or the Black Lives Matter movement and all these other movements, and we get a part of these things, and they gain our support financially, mentally, but it don't benefit the household. And when you read the tariff system and you reading that, and now that we charging them tariffs, now we bugging. I don't know. Anything you want to add to that, bro?
It's like when it's time to stand up for shit, now it's a problem. But it was okay when it was okay when you was getting money and nobody was questioning nothing. It was okay when you was coming over here doing what you want to do, use people culture, use this and the third, don't pay nobody back for nothing. It was okay then. But now we standing on ground, now it's an issue. It's just how it is. And then you just gonna have to accept it. Like now we like, hey, we're not doing it no more. You gotta pay this. If you want to use this, you gotta pay your way. We've been
Mm-hmm.
paying for everybody as a country to come up. Now you gotta pay us now. You
Yeah.
want us to protect y'all? All right, you gotta pay up. Like Canada, like you stop playing. You know what I'm saying? You want us to hold it down because I ain't nobody worried about the Canadian Air Force or the Canadian Army. Trust me, ain't
Mm-hmm.
nobody worried about that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Right.
So just sit calm. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Like America got it. And ain't nobody else fucking with us.
Get down or lay down, straight like that. Shout out, real quick. Shout out to Rowan Jack. He just gifted some of y'all some memberships. Shout out to Rowan Jack. Some thank yous are in order. He just gave some memberships to Brooklyn Chronicles, Dope Boy, John Smith, Joseph Hernandez. So make sure and Jag FL Flex or Jag Flex. So again, send that man some thank yous. Very appreciative of Rowan Jack. Thank you again for supporting as always, man. So some more badge holders in the building, y'all. If this is your first time watching, again, this is Cannon Brothers Get a Rap podcast. We're on every Thursday, every Sunday, 10:30 p.m. And again, we love that engagement in the chat. All right, especially when you're talking about what we're talking about. All right, hit them likes, hit them likes, hit them likes, y'all. Hit them 100s in the chat. Again, thank you again, Rowan Jack. But yeah, man. So it's crazy now that we really getting things situated, and we're gonna change some things up, and you can't stop us from changing things up. It's either you get down or you lay down. And it's just crazy to me that as a country, we don't see the big play. and I want to say as the country, but it just kills me. Most people that I speak with that's on the other side of that particular thinking just happen to be women and older men. Get on the right side of history. Get on the right side of history because you're on the wrong side right now. Like I also own a tax company, and you'll be surprised when I speak to people and they say, "Yeah, man, Donald Trump." Da, da, da. I say, "Yo, don't you know there's a 2017 tax cut that he's trying to bring back, and if he bring that back, you could get back more money for real." Yeah, yes, absolutely. And when I break it down to them, they like, "Oh man, I didn't even know that." I know, because you was biting the chicken sandwich, baby. It's cool. So now that you know, you can't unlearn something. So what are you gonna do? Just saying. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Tory Lanez just dropped a new album called Peterson. It has reached #1 on the iTunes hip hop album charts. What do you think about that?
It's just another person that knows how to finesse the algorithms to keep winning, like regardless if he locked up or not. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you explain it going #1 and he not even here physically? No
Hmm.
dude locked up. So at the end of the day, he must know something about the algorithm, just know how to play the game and get his numbers in. Like, shout out to him. So,
Hmm. I think honestly, this is big. I've never heard of any artist dropping an album from jail, going #1 on top of that.
I bet you them damn record label companies like, damn, we should have got that nigga out that situation now. Because
But
that's a whole lot of money y'all not getting.
hmm and
Because
I
who
listen.
you signed to?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's
Yeah.
a whole money that everybody looking like, damn, son, that could have been our budget. That
Hmm.
could have been our marketing.
Hmm. Mind you, he don't need no budget. He just needs to just drop the music because he not out.
So whenever it hit that threshold, now he can hire that high paid lawyer that he need to hire. So as soon as it starts hitting that numbers, all right, just make that call, get that lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it going. That's
Mhm.
crazy. Yo, I need a lawyer real quick. I'm gonna drop an album. Bang, shit go #1. Now you can get any type of lawyer you want.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's about to be interesting.
I think a part of that though of his success is that people was intrigued to hear what an album would sound like from jail, and the quality it's jail. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're doing it live from prison. So the quality is not gonna be super crispy, but whoever did the engineering tried to clean it up, whether it was whoever did the post engineering tried to clean up a lot of audio deficiencies. It's a decent album. I heard it. But I think a part of it was the intrigue of, him being in jail, and people want to hear what that's gonna sound like. It's a lot of rap. Obviously, the auto tune. I didn't hear him. He ain't gonna have the top tier auto tune because he's at where he's at. But it was a decent album. I would tell people to go listen to it and form their own opinion about it. But I think a big part of it had to do with the fact that he's in jail, and they want to hear if he's gonna talk about Megan and all the other stuff going on with the cases. I think it's just the perfect time and the perfect storm for him to be able to do that. So the fact that he was able to drop an album from jail is one feat. The second is he went #1, which is crazy. So shout out to Tory Lanez with that.
But
Uh, did you hear R. Kelly's uh uh his song from jail about his him not being able to recoup his money?
nah, I ain't even know he had a diss song.
Yeah, he had a verse about him not being able to recoup his money. I forget what type of challenge they called it. Maybe y'all can help me out with that in the chat. But he dropped the verse, and when everybody heard it, from the reaction that I seen, it was like, "Yo, Kells is Kells." Like, I'm not gonna stop listening to Kells because Kells still his vocals still sound super buttery, pause from jail. So if Tory Lanez could drop an album from jail, go number one. R. Kelly already said that in jail he recorded 25 albums. I don't know if he just wrote it or you know what I'm saying, like he just got it in his head, or he actually got MP3s ready. But if he got joints, bro, from the jail, from Cook County, bro, I want to hear it. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. I need to hear some R. Kelly from jail. I need to hear the jail album, bro. I need to hear the Cook County edition of R. Kelly, bro. Now, if he dropped the album from jail, do you think it would be successful?
Yeah, it's because it's R. Kelly. It's just a whole bunch what he's in jail for. Then his music. It's gonna be so much people are gonna want to tap in for so many different reasons. So it's gonna be a whole bunch of people tapping. And it's just a quiet storm and a perfect storm for any record label money. Any person that can triple, quadruple their money at that point would make that move in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be fire. Shout out to Rowan Jack. Proof don't waste your time. Conjugal visits. When is Bill going to drop an album? Nobody want to hear Bill Cosby album. And Bill Cosby home. He home. He been home. He been home. But I'm good on Bill Cosby. I just watch the Cosbys. You know what I'm saying? I keep to the Cosbys. You know what I'm saying? Classic show. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. Uh, they found out Girl Scout cookies are being sued after a study has allegedly found heavy metals and parasites. I'm sorry, and pesticides in 100% of their sampled cookies. What do you think about that?
I mean, why are people acting like they surprised? Like, come on. Like, they're going to make some garbage ass product. It probably costs them next to nothing to make it. And then on top of that, they're gonna flip it and quadruple it because they're gonna make you pay $5 for something. It costs $2 for them to make. Damn, this for the health risk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're using children. Oh, it's Girl Scout cookies. So you're not thinking nothing of it because they just finessing you with the chicken sandwich. In this scenario, the chicken sandwich is you put money into a good cause for the Girl Scouts. But the company don't even give a fuck about the girls. Because the
Mhm,
damn Girl Scout cookies is probably killing them too. Because if they eat it, they getting the poison as well. So,
mhm,
like, for people to feel surprised about this, it's like, come on, are you serious? At this stage in the game, you thought that Girl Scout cookies were safe? You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
They're gonna fuck up your milk, but now don't worry about the Girl Scout cookies.
mhm.
Don't touch the Girl Scout cookies. Oh no, come on.
Would y'all be surprised if I told you that Girl Scout cookies was a business? Think about it. When's the last time y'all seen Girl Scouts? So would y'all be surprised if they turned Girl Scout cookies into a whole business where it's basically Oreos and Chips Ahoy? They just call it Girl Scout cookies. And they don't even use the proceeds for Girl Scouts because when was the last time you seen Girl Scouts? Most young girls is at home on TikTok. Like let's keep it all the way a buck. If I told y'all that Girl Scout cookies was a business and a company by itself, would y'all believe it? Again, when is the last time y'all seen Girl Scouts? So now that their product has been defective, they've been raping the system for years as far as financially and using the brand and the thought of a Girl Scout cookie being amazing and is going to support the local girls in the neighborhood, which is completely trash. It's completely trash. It's like getting the chocolates. Remember when we was in high school, you get them chocolates every year. Y'all want to sell some chocolates and they'd be the best damn chocolates we ever tasted ever. But we sell them every year. We had to sell 500 chocolates to get a bike that cost $1,500 or a keychain that cost $300. So like, all that work, but to
Mind you, back then the chocolate bars we had was like Snickers, Reese's, peanut butter cup, but they was making us pay charge $1 for it. And you could get the same Snickers bar in the back then at the corner store for 25 cents.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Charged the whole dollar back then.
And then making us believe like, oh, we could get that bike. That's like 1,000 raffle tickets and this, that, and the third. Well, it was really $100.
Right. Like
You know
making
what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah.
the finesse is all over. It's all over. It's all around us. You just gotta look at the finesse. You know what I'm saying? The Kaiser is everywhere.
Yeah. Rowan Jack is stupid. He said the NBA should sell Girl Scout cookies. Stupid. Call it the WNBA cookies. But yeah, man. I just thought it was very interesting seeing this. Um, and people still gonna buy it. People still gonna support it because it's the brand of it. It sounds good to support it. But we put things in our body again that people are not reading the label, and then when you tell people, "Yo, you know the Scout cookies not good for you, right? You know Teddy Grahams and Pop Tarts is not good for you." For real, where you heard that at? I didn't hear that from nowhere. I did the research. I read it. I found it. You could find it too. But I'm telling you, if you buy that, it's going to affect your body in a negative way. Man, I believe you. I just don't trust your research. Okay, heard you. And look at the outcome of that. So at the end of the day, people have to really be cognizant of brands, of the chicken sandwich, of the finesse that these companies continue to pull over you. Girl Scout Cookies is a company. They're gonna get this bad press and keep it cooking because most people probably won't ever hear this. And for the thousands of people that will hear this, share that information because this is just a company just trying to get their hustle on. Anything else you want to add to that?
We definitely hit all the bases on this one.
All right. Moving on to our next hot topic, 21-year-old Sebastian Balenzi becomes the first New Yorker in history to be cured of sickle cell anemia using his own stem cells and bone marrow and several transfusions to create normal red blood cells. What do you think about that?
So he used his own blood cells to create, and then other stuff he used to to cure himself. Is that what is going on?
Right. So they used his own stem cells and bone marrow in several transfusions to create the red blood cells that he needed. Yep.
That's amazing. That's top tier work. That's real science right there. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
shout out to him. Like that's a great feat in humanity. Getting especially sickle cell, because that's something that a lot of people of melanated descent deal with. So
Mhm.
for him to be able to find a way to cure that, that's fantastic. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I know that's a celebration for him and his family. That fight and the fact that he's 21, he still has so much to look forward to. He has his whole life ahead of him, and I wish him all the best. The fact that they was able to do this at this point in time is very poignant, and I know it's going to be a very pivotal part in his life that just like he could just go live life. He could go live it up. He gonna go make mistakes. He's just gonna be able to go and enjoy life. So shout out to the young brother that's able to be cured of sickle cell anemia. Moving on to our next hot topic, legendary producer. We spoke about him last episode, Bentley Kyle Evans, who used to produce the Martin Show and the Jamie Foxx Show. He says, even though he created the Jamie Foxx Show, both him and Jamie Foxx have never received a syndication check. What do you think about that?
I mean, it sounds about right. You know what I'm saying? It got you in the writing room, writing shit up, and then they take you like, all right, I'm gonna take it to the high execs, and the person taking up, they're like, oh, this is my idea. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Like people not properly protected as far as like the writing guild or their names is if you have any type of writing or something that's not protected, like where your ideas are used and they know it's your ideas and you getting credit for it. So I could see that being a thing coming up. And I guess they call it paying your dues, where you give other people ideas because their name is more hot than yours, but they using your ideas to get even more hot. But it's like slime shit, but they call it paying your dues though. But it's like, how the fuck is it paying my dues when you using my shit?
Mm-hmm.
But I can't eat off my own shit? How does that make sense? But that's
Right.
Hollywood. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They'll finesse you with shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard top tier people say, oh, yeah, I was paying my dues. I was paying it forward and this, that, and the third, and all this goofy shit. And then when you have situations like this, like, oh, I wrote for the Jamie Foxx show, I wrote for Martin, and I ain't getting no bread. Oh, but remember, you was paying it forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why are you complaining about it now? You know what I'm saying? You was paying it forward back then. You took, when they hit you with that paying that forward bullshit, you ain't saying nothing back then.
Mm-hmm.
But now you got something to say. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand the gripe. I don't understand the hootenanny behind it. Like, you knew what it was back then. You did what you did. Now all of a sudden it's a problem now, huh? No. You ain't do your paperwork. You ain't understand the business first. Like, I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't read contracts. What's going on? Which one is it? Or did you give free work to get on? Now that you gave some of your best work, you saw how they still eating off it. Now you mad. Which one is it? I don't understand which one. So explain that.
I think it boils down to when you're supposed to be a struggling artist, whether you're an actor, artist, producer, writer, everything is all good once you start getting paid. Because when the Jamie Foxx show was going on, they were getting paid. But we talking about syndication checks. So because they produced the show, there was certain things with the Writers Guild, there's certain things with the production that you were supposed to get in perpetuity. They didn't get that. When I watched the Jamie Foxx show, I know for a fact at the end of every Jamie Foxx show, they showed Jamie Foxx Productions. That probably wasn't the name of it at the time or the name of it, but I know it was Jamie Foxx Production or something like that because they used to show like a Fox and it had the Jamie Foxx and it showed the production or whatever the case may be. So you're basically saying that was there for show. No paperwork was properly filed on your behalf. Where's your lawyers? You in the industry. This is what you do. I just never understand that people that get into things and they don't do their research before they get into things. When you take a job, you do the research on the type of job you're going to take, don't you? You do some sort of synopsis on what they would expect out of you getting this position, what type of education is required, what type of other qualifications would be required so you don't look stupid. Just up there fully finessing. But you end up finessing yourself because yeah, you was able to get a check for the amount of years that the show was on, but in perpetuity means forever. Them syndication checks would pay some bills. So over your blood and sweat and tears, other people is just receiving your bread over things you did that you stayed all night coming up with creative ways to be funny and to give the people a good show. So it's just at this point it kind of feels redundant in show business that our community is the king of the show, but we are just so lacking on the business. And to hear that is upsetting, to be honest with you. But it's a part of what it is. So it is what it is. I'm moving on to our next hot topic. Uh, Quanah Burton, top level actor on the Elementary, files for divorce from her husband Kevin Inc. After 4 years of marriage, nearly 4 years of marriage. What do you think about that?
I just hope somebody got prenups. I hope they got their paperwork straight. Somebody gonna lose out on something. As long as somebody paperwork straight, then it can be done amicably. But I'm pretty sure nobody's paperwork straight, and you get divorced in New York, so it's gonna be a problem.
Hmm. You know what's like? Cause she just got it back for Abbott Elementary. Just got it. Not to say that it's just the fact that she just got a bag that's like life changing financials for Abbott Elementary.
She
Um,
gonna have to give up a piece of that. You know what I'm saying? It's no problem. It's just funny how the thing's gonna go. It's no problem when it's Iman Shumpert getting violated.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's gonna be an issue because it's her getting taken to the cleaners by her ex. Like, nah, son, you can't pick and choose this because
Mm-hmm.
this is how you wanted it, right? All right, so you want it fair, so it's fair that it goes both ways. You can't pick and choose this. So at the end of the day, if he wants to go after your bread and he wants to go after your sag and he wants to go after your all that,
Your pension, all that, yeah.
it is what it is. Because
Mm-hmm.
when it's in reverse, nobody say nothing. But it always seems like when it's in reverse, it seems like it depends on the shade of the particular person. Then that's when they'll have something to say or not. Because
Mm-hmm.
if it's a white person, they may or may not say nothing. But if it's a brother, oh, how could he do this? Oh, he's not a real man for doing that. He should just pay everything and be quiet. I hope bro take her for everything.
Because
Just cut.
from the reports that I seen, he made more money than her prior
Doesn't matter.
to her pay.
That doesn't matter. When y'all
Pay.
come together, it doesn't matter. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
right. Because you combining debt.
Exactly. Now
So
you're divorcing. Now we got to figure out the assets.
right.
Unless you did your paperwork before you got married.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm pretty sure they didn't do
You
that.
did because you was
Yeah.
in love, like a
Right.
goofy. All right, cool. So now we're gonna see who gonna win out of this one. And then I'm not saying, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I'm for the men on this one. I hope bro go for the gusto.
But I also wanted to shed light on another point. It's just weird when, again, this is not a show where we bash women. This is not what we do. We give love to our women. We need y'all, but we have to point out things that are real. But I just find it very funny when women start getting the bag. Now all of a sudden, divorce is at play. Because I'm pretty sure before they had problems. Every relationship, every couple has problems. Normally, it's not making enough money. Now, when you make the bread. Now, some women, not all, but some women, once they feel like they made the bread, now they feel like they have equal footing to the relationship when it's when it's God, man, then wife, then children. Now, when they feel like they get the money, now if they feel like it's God, me, and you, they don't feel like they need no type of direction because they went out and got the bag. So I just find that uh, very funny when that seems to be the common denominator when women start making that money. When you would think, because we are here most of the time, if a woman makes $1 million, when she's looking to date a partner, to really have a partner, she don't want a partner who makes, you know, 30,000 a year. She don't want that. She want a guy who makes just as much or more. And to me, that's just for aesthetic, and that's just really for other people to hear that and be like, "Oh, he could take care of you if he wanted to." For real, that's not real because men, we don't have no problem wifing a woman with us having $100 million and her working at McDonald's. We have no problem doing that. But let that $100 million woman come through McDonald's and see the cutest guy she ever seen in her life. You think she's going to try to take his number? No. So I just find that very interesting when a woman starts making money, that relationships also start going awry too.
Hmm. It's also funny that how women can all of a sudden be like, oh, because I make this money, I don't have the right or I shouldn't listen to you. But then when it's your boss at your job, you have no problem listening. So it showcases you can listen, but it should also showcase you choose when to listen and not.
Hmm.
So it's like, okay, if you want to choose it when to listen and not, all right, fine. When the scenario happens, when this happens, and we take you for the cleanest because you put us in the scenario where we have the opportunity to divorce you and take half, you
Hmm.
can't be mad because
Hmm.
that's the game y'all play.
And you're always going to lose. And I always like to highlight outcomes. Outcomes. Learn how not to be in your feelings because it will affect your outcomes in a very negative space. So at this stage of the game, she filed for divorce. So what's going to be the outcome of her divorce? So do she believe because she makes $1 million or have millions of dollars that there's going to be men lining up to replace her husband? I'm just saying. I mean, is she unless she's a hellified woman, I'm just I don't know. I mean just I'm not Mr. Cleo. I can't call the future, but chances are your outcomes won't be something that you're going to look forward to. The grass is not always greener on the other side. So yeah. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. Vikings are no longer interested in signing Aaron Rodgers. They're committing to their rookie quarterback of last year, J.J. McCarthy. What do you think about that?
Smart decision. Go with younger talent. It only makes sense. Like, what are we talking about here?
Hmm.
Because it's Aaron Rodgers. Like, well, you think his name still has cachet? This ain't '05. You know what I'm saying? This ain't the Aaron Rodgers of '05 and '06. It's 2025. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's stop playing, Go retire. Let the young bucks get it going. You know what I'm saying? It's only a young man sport. You know what I'm saying? You had your time already. It's over with.
Hmm.
Might as well be a coach or something. You know what I'm saying? It's hella coaching positions.
I mean, if his personality leads up to it, I mean, at the end of the day, people will. I mean, you can have all the talent in the world, but when your energy doesn't meet your outcome, they won't tolerate you no more. And it just seems like because his reputation from the NFL guys doesn't seem to be positive overall. So if you have that type of energy, that's the reason why there's teams who don't want to sign you. And mind you, from a talent perspective, even though Aaron Rodgers is older, he's still talentedly better than at least 12 to 13 guys playing in the NFL that started in the NFL as quarterbacks, still as a talent. But the energy, his personality is not going to be tolerated no more. You're no longer the guy in the NFL. So people not going to want to take on them type of problems and them type of issues. All the talent in the world, but if your spirit and your energy is not based on team building, then they're not gonna mess with you. So I was actually kind of surprised because I thought the Holy Trinity would happen with same thing would happen with Favre when he went to Green Bay, Jets, Vikings. I thought it was the same thing was going to happen to Aaron Rodgers when he went from Green Bay, Jets to Vikings. So uh,
Vikings already did that one time. They're not going through that shit again. You can't make that organization take that L again. Like, we did it last time. Ain't no way, son.
yeah,
Ain't no way. We good over here.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they JJ McCarthy been backing up for a whole year. He was kind of hurt. I also believe, and it's time for him to see what he got. So shout out to JJ. He led my Michigan Wolverines to a national title a couple years back. So he has my support. All right, moving on to our next segment. Our next segment is brought to you by Bravo Section. Make sure you go to bigbravosection.com. Again, bigbravosection.com. You can buy dope photography and book a session with one of the best photographers in the world, especially if you're in the Miami area. If you're not, you can still book that session. They'll come out, take care of your session, but it starts again at bigbravosection.com. You have a petty thought for us, petty law, petty words.
All right, Chad. So it's a section where we random words out of the dictionary. It was important that words from the Black's Law Dictionary are important because we need to know the legal definitions of words that we use in everyday language. So the first word on the list is exculpatory. Exculpatory is to declaring or tending to clear from an alleged fault or guilt, excusing. All right, exculpatory. Next word is a licensing power. The authority in a governmental body to grant a license to pursue a particular activity, i.e., license to sell liquor. All right. Next on the list is motion to strike. On motion of either party, the court may order stricken from any pleading any insufficient defense, or any redundant, immaterial, impertinent, or scandalous matter. Motion to strike. And last on the list is pedigree, lineage, descent, and succession of families, lines of ancestors from which a person descends, genealogy, an account or register of a line of ancestors, family relationship, pedigree. So the four words were exculpatory, licensing power, motion to strike, and pedigree.
Dope, dope. Y'all make sure y'all send my bro some words for the next episode. Be serious about your words. Be intentional. Dope words. Again, these are words that we need to know with these double meanings. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. I'll keep the lie live segment.
Keep the lie live.
Keep the lie live. So my keep the lie live for this episode is disguise and perception. I have two examples of disguise and perception. People, beware of disguises and perceptions. You had a Houston teacher, a local Houston teacher, that used the excuse of taking care of runaway students by having housing for them, but she was using the runaway students uh, as a sort of brothel where they would have to service 5 to 10 men a day to make enough money to pay their basically their housing rent. Obviously, she would collect the money and she would also use her son as like a second in charge. But her perception in disguise is that she was actually a school teacher. And because that perception that she's a good person, they say all the time, if you're in trouble, tell a teacher or tell somebody of authority like a police officer or a nurse or a doctor. She's a teacher. Most teachers are, in the kids' eyes, they're somebody that they feel protected with. So she used that perception and that disguise to do dirt. Disguise and perception. Same as the young lady who, that they can't find her body uh, um, out in DR. Her family, is out. All types of police is everywhere. They keep questioning the last man that he was with, and that man said they was out in sea. They almost drowned. He tried to get himself together. When he looked back, she was gone. They still can't find her body. So now they chalking up the fact that, well, they chalking it up that she drowned because there's no real hardcore evidence outside, because there's no body, there's no hardcore evidence as far as him physically uh having any altercation as far as DNA samples under his nails, scratches, defense wounds, or nothing like that. They just show him the next morning coming in looking very disheveled, and they still can't necessarily link the murder to him. Disguise and perception. We don't know him, and they won't let him leave the country, might I add too, because he's the last person to see her. So again, these disguise and deceptions, be aware of this stuff because these are the very things that could save your life. You're around people who are supposed to be your friends who don't look out for you, and they leave you with the stranger. I mean, we're all adults and we all make decisions and we all go on vacation with that one thing in mind: sex. Whether you man or female, when you go on vacation, you trying to break somebody's bedroom. But there's ways of doing it, and there's a ways to make sure that both parties are safe. So you would think, as your friend, especially women. Y'all are the weaker vessels. So I implored you before in past episodes to go out in groups. Y'all much safer in groups. This may sound weird, but in my upbringing, a lot of girls, when they used to do their dirt, they did it around other girls. Meaning, like when they got it popping in the same room with other girls. Like even though their dude and them is going at it, another girl will be in a room, or another girl would get it popping with another dude in the room. It won't be an orgy. It's just everybody getting it popping, and that's kind of a way to keep things safe. So you leave again your friend, and she's supposed to be your friend. It's a disguise. It's a perception that y'all even friends in the first place. So disguise and perception. So be aware of that. What do you think of the disguise and perception, especially in these two cases?
I mean, women have a way of destroying the very fabric and the integrity of certain type of societal norms. Like a societal norm is a teacher where you feel safe, where you could come to the teacher, express certain things and not feel judged. But then you use that position and taint it. So now the integrity of a teacher is kind of tainted because of what you did. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that every teacher is like that, but I was just saying now we're kind of looking at teachers like sideways because the last 10 years, how many teachers have been being caught in sexual acts and just doing the uh most disgusting things for the last 10, 15 years. And majority of them have been women. So it's really women's just showcasing their hand, and it's not good. And it's funny because last year or the year before that, y'all was talking about, oh, if we was in the forest, we'd choose the bear. Shoot, if I was in the forest, I choose another man. At least at the end of the day, we can have a conversation, figure out where the hell we at, and try to get the fuck out the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Because you choose a bear, I'm dead. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no, you know what I'm saying? How am
Right,
I convince a bear not to kill me?
right.
What bear language or bear talk I got to tell this bear like, yo, chill, I'm one of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like it's over. But another human being, at least we can have the common decency of speak and figure out how we're gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna help you, you help me, and we out. You know what I'm saying? We
Mm-hmm.
have that camaraderie. But with women, it's what they want at that moment, and they don't care. Like, how you gonna tell me you're a teacher, you care about the community, but yet and still you are forcing your students to do these disgusting things and making them and taking the money and putting it in an account and spending it and going to school the next day and teaching the youth on government and English while you got people in chains in the basement. That's crazy to me. The way that you can conceptualize and compartmentalize that, that's a different type of human being. I don't want to be nowhere near around that type of person. You know what I'm saying? Because if you could have your son be part of the team, like this is generational wealth, like this is, you know what I'm saying? Like this is a business he could pass down to his son. It's crazy. It's just crazy. And if there's any women that's out there even remotely finding or thinking of a way to justify her actions, you should be right in line with them too.
That's a fact. And think of that type of power. A teacher is basically has a license to do all and be all. It's a lot of power being a teacher. You have a lot of influence. You can really move like a chameleon. The ultimate sex offender would be a teacher because the reputation of a teacher. It's a teacher, it's an educator. So
And
think of the
especially if you're a teacher and you at this position, you don't want all the highest teachers award. You don't got all this prestige, all this know-how. But now you go into a scenario like, oh, I want to help disadvantaged youth. I want to help these kids, this, that, and the third. And when it's in a position where this kids is trying to explain something or this is going on, they're not going to be believed upon because of their disadvantage. Oh, he's a troublemaker. Oh, no, this teacher won the multi-teacher award. Like, why would that teacher do that? You're just the such and such. So they use that to their advantage as well too. You know what I'm saying? They know for a fact, like, oh, I have this much credibility. My social credit is high. Your social credit is level crackhead. So who you think they're gonna believe?
right.
And that's how these predators move. They're gonna put them in a position where nobody's ever gonna believe you because of who they are, because of their position, because I won these awards. I'm a Grammy winning artist. I'm a award winning publisher. I have these awards, this, that, and the third. It's all there to just use it as a ploy to further implement their schemes.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
For the ones who do those things, not saying everyone who's actually a game in the art or a student in the art or a very pronounced teacher, not saying that they use that for that position as well. It's just those particular people that we're speaking about, that's how they use their position uh to keep themselves insulated.
Mm-hmm. Another disguise and perception that I wanted to mention also was the just hilarious situation amongst the Breakfast Club with her gripes with, her showmates and how she went about it, disguises and perception. She used the show for all this time to, push her star, for her to be bigger, kind of stunt on other people, it seemed like. Um, but now all of these things is coming to life after, she was pregnant. So based on her maternity leave, they asked somebody else to step in. That person started doing a kick-ass job. When she came back, that person never left, and she felt like there was never a real conversation. But come to find out, there was conversations, and her biggest gripe was the fact that there was no camaraderie against the the chat or the people in the comments. They didn't come together as a workforce as far as her showmates to combat the comments in on YouTube, Instagram, wherever these negative comments may have lied about her on the show. Disguise and perception. To that, what do you say?
Well, she has it confused. She thinking that having a social cachet equates to the dollars that the radio station is making to pay her wage. That's not how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Your social cachet was enough to get you in the door, to get you a sit down, to get you a contract. But yet still you didn't elevate yourself. You didn't make yourself better. You didn't put yourself in a position where it's like, damn, she's so good. We need her. Even if she goes on a maternity leave, we still need her because she's so good at her job. You didn't do none of that. So you thought you was good. Now you go get pregnant and you thought your position was straight. No, guess what? The show must go on. The show doesn't stop because you're out of here. No, you're not cutting the checks. So because you're not cutting the checks, they're gonna find somebody else in your position. And lo and behold, they find something better than you. But because you're on contract, you still gotta come back. You know what I'm saying? You still gotta sit down and continuously do your job. There, I'm of course with anything with corporate America, there's always sit downs, there's always talks, there's proper channel being done. So for her to be on live and say there was never a proper channel was funny to me when she had to tell her, it was like, hey, I had to sit down with you with a third party.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how you gotta do in corporate America, because it could be he, she said anytime. So you
Mm-hmm.
have a third party there just so there's a mediator and be like, nope, that's what was said. No, you said this, that, and the third. That's how it's done in corporate America. Shorty knows that. You don't know that because that's not your wave. So again, you always gonna trick yourself out of position because you think you feel you have a certain cachet because you got social media. That don't mean nothing. It doesn't mean nothing at the end of the day if you don't have the knowledge and the skill set and understand the business.
Mm-hmm.
Business is always going to come first before anything else for that particular situation.
Mm-hmm. Now I could really understand some of her gripes if there was never a conversation, and if she had these conversations and continue to have these conversations off camera and behind the scenes. To put it on blast like that on a live or whatever that how she did it, and still was able to go back to work, and then obviously they're going to talk about it on camera because it's going to boost their ratings a little bit. It's going to, oh yeah, it's time to tap into that perception and disguise. And at the end of the day, what are the outcome look is going to be change? What's going to be the change outcome of all that? Because anytime you have to play on the team, especially you're contracted to play on the team, whether you get hurt or for women sake, or whether you get pregnant, when you come back, you're not going to come back to the same thing. So you have to change your role, get in where you fit in, and make it work for you to take whatever that you're doing to the next level. That's what talented people do. They figure it out. So the whole thing is not necessarily about talent, you would think, because you would feel like, hey, she will figure it out, right? But she said that she might feel the same way that people, or what the people were saying in the chat. She may agree with what they're saying in the chat, whether it's something negative about her or the show. So again, you're combating something that doesn't exist. People always going to say stuff negative, whether you're on your live, whether you're in your rewatches, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on any platform. People feel like they're going to shine more by saying negative things about you. People are going to feel like they're going to shine more if they crack a joke on you, you know, trying to show the difference of showing you love when they make themselves look like idiots. They don't know nothing about you personally. They don't know anything about what's the happenings going on until you say something. Disguise and perception. So when you basically put it out there, now you're giving more fuel to the fire. Oh yeah, we got him now. We live in the real world, and you can't let social media dictate how you move. You're supposed to use it as a tool to grow. Simple and plain. Guess what? If people put in negative comments, they get too ridiculous. Guess what? They go to the block party over here. So at the end of the day, it doesn't change how they feel about you in the comments. It doesn't dictate your everyday life. You still be able to pay your bills. You still be able to go on trips. You still be able to do what you want to do for you and your family. So don't live in disguise, in perception. Anything else you want to add to that, bro?
That was well thought off and well said.
Appreciate that, my brother. Again, y'all, we want to thank y'all for tapping in, man. It's been a fire episode. Again, if this is your first time tapping into Can the Brothers Get a Can the Brothers Get a Rap, understand we're on every Thursday, every Sunday at 10:30 p.m. So make sure y'all continue to come back, tell a friend, tap in, hit that subscribe button because you just never know when I'm gonna pop up with something. I mean, this might bless y'all with a new video. Something. We got over 300 rewatches of this podcast on this channel. So make sure, again, y'all tap in, y'all hit that subscribe button, check the memberships in the page. There's links in the bio, different memberships, different access. Again, thank y'all again for tapping in. I want to thank some of our sponsors of the show. Bravo Section, Button Snaps, and OUV Records. If you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, you can hit me on Instagram at Ashley Lovechild, or you can hit my bro on his Instagram at
Bravo section _
So if you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, you can hit us up on Instagram. Or if you just want to kick it, you know what I'm saying? Just go in there, show some love, show some comments, hit a follow. And that would be greatly appreciated as always. Don't forget to tap into the Overstand podcast. Well, I understand where you go Overstand every Monday at 9:30. So make sure y'all tap in on this channel. Again, this episode is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get the finest of original movies, TV shows, original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. So make sure y'all tap in. I'm working on a new album. In the mean between time, just type in Ashley Lovechild, type in that good music. I got some fire music, so make sure y'all tap in. And I appreciate your support on the music aspect as well. I know my brother got some announcements he want to make.
Definitely got some merch on the way coming soon. Definitely some merch on the way. Tap into BigBravoSection.com. Merch coming soon.
Make sure y'all tap in. Man, all right, y'all. Again, we're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We just went over 11. Again, continue to like, subscribe, and share. Hit them like buttons on the way out. Hit them like buttons on the way out. We don't ask enough of it during the show because we have a great time and we forget during the show. Hit them 100s on the way out. We greatly appreciate y'all as always. I feel like we're missing one last thing, but we're gonna rock out again for you first timers. Y'all first time watching. Again, we're on every Thursday and Sunday at 10:30 p.m. And hit those rewatches. We got over 300 videos of rewatches. Hit those rewatches. Great conversational starters for you, your friends, your lady, your boyfriends, pause, and your coworkers. All right, y'all already know it's love. And I'll see y'all next time, 10:30 this Sunday. We out.